Okay, so a little bit about sweeping. It's kind of tricky, but what you need to know is that it all starts with this hand, your sweeping hand. Um, doesn't matter what you're doing with your left hand or your fretting hand, if you can't sweep properly with your picking hand, it's going to sound bad no matter what. Okay? So, first things first, you got to get the technique down with your picking hand. And a good way to do that is get rid of your fretting hand. Okay? We don't care about that right now. We want to work on this hand. So, with the open strings, just practice. You know, go really slow starting out, and I mean, this is deadly slow, you know. Make one note ring at a time. Okay? And what you want to do is when you pick through one string, right before you pick through the next string, you want to mute the string you previously picked. Okay? So you want to use the kind of side of your palm right here, side of your hand, this area, whatever you want to call it. Okay? And you just want to practice. Open strings, you know, start with 3 strings. And you'll know when it sounds bad because it'll sound like this. Or you muted it too much. Okay? So go slow. Okay? Get the hang of it. When you got 3 strings down, throw the 4th one in there. Okay. You know, throw 5 strings in there once you're good. 6 strings. Now, for me, I have a crap load of distortion on here all the time. I have a Boss DS1 distortion pedal. Distortion is maxed out, okay? So when you're doing these, you know, 5th, 5 and 6 strings, sometimes even the 4th string, when you do those sweeps, even if you put your palm to mute correctly, you know, right at the right time, that string is still going to vibrate a little bit, and if you got a lot of distortion, you know, it's going to pick that up. But you know, once you get the technique down with this hand and you start using your fretting hand, the way you position your fret hand fingers can help out to mute those thicker strings. So, you know, this hand will get things about, you know, 90% clean, you know, whatever. And then, you know, the extra 10%'s right here. For 3 strings, I don't know, you can pretty much do it all with your picking hand, but when you get, you know, 5, 6 string sweeps, got to do a little bit of muting with your fret hand. So, yeah, I think the shapes were, let's see, A minor, 2nd inversion, 4th string, 14th fret. Now, I never practice 4-string sweeps because I've only ever done Michael Angelo Batio's speed kills, and he only has 3-string and 5-string sweeps in there. So I really just started doing 4-string sweeps about 10 minutes ago. And, you know, if I'm doing this right, the A minor 2nd inversion should be something like this. Okay. Then the next one was a G major 2nd inversion, 12th fret, 4th string. So I'm guessing that one is something like this. Okay, could be wrong, I don't know, maybe I'm dumb. But something like that. So, you know, start things slow. I'm going to go 40 beats a minute. That's really slow. We're going to be doing 16th notes. Make sure you get your pick hand, sweep technique good with the open strings before you start doing anything with your fret hand. But let's try this. 3, 4. Okay, it's really slow. Let's go with the G major. 2, 3, 4. Okay, so you got it. Now, some of those, I maybe got a couple clean ones in there, but I've only been practicing these 4-string shapes for about 10 minutes, so that's not too bad. I mean, I can burn my 3 strings, like... Okay, 5. Not as good as my 3 strings, but kind of there. So 4 strings, totally the shapes are new to me, and it's all muscle memory, So you just got to practice it many times. So I'll kick it up to 80 beats a minute. 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that was A minor. Let's go G major here. Okay, you get the hang of it. Here's a piece of a 5-string sweep that my fingers are kind of used to. Obviously, I got to work on my timing. I don't know, but like I said, I normally do, well, I guess triplets when I do it with the metronome because of the 5 and 3-string shapes. But so seems like I obviously got to work on my 16th note 4-string sweeps. But I mean, you can go fast through them. You just put in a lot of hours, make sure you get it right. Make it sound cool. But it all starts with the pick hand, making sure you can do that. There's this cool part in Michael Angelo Batio's song, No Boundaries, where he does, this is honestly the only 4-string sweep that I knew prior to this, and it's kind of cool. It's a kind of an interesting little one. That's the only one I'm kind of good at. Okay, so something like that. Whatever. Something I'm still working on. Not the best at. But, with your sweeps, get this hand down, add in the fret hand, you know, and if you practice it enough, make sure it's clean, you can burn right through them. So hopefully that helps a little bit.